Welcome to X-Files Podcast, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on. I'm Janice Formicella, a breakup coach passionate about supporting others to heal from their breakups, overcome loneliness, love being single, and see the end of a relationship as the beginning of a magical new chapter in life. I am here each week to share with you the tools that I have learned through my own painful breakups, through hitting rock bottom more than once, and through working with people all around the world to heal their broken hearts. If you are looking for hope and strength to move on from your breakup and resources to enjoy your new single life, you are in the right place, and I've got your back. Welcome, everybody. It's X-Files Day. Hooray! Hooray! I just get so flustered whenever I get to record with Jessie because I have two very close friends who I do this with, and she's one of them. And it's always a treat, especially when we've been gossiping up a storm for the last 20 minutes and then deciding, oh, we should probably record now. But
maybe we should do some work.
It's a great mindset or mood to talk about the topic. It's a great foundation. We're both in very good moods right now. Partially because after we record, we're talking about Janice's trip to New Zealand.
Yeah, we could record a thing in person.
We are going to record a thing in person. Yes, Yay. We're going to do so many things. We need to hire a videographer to document it.
I got you, boo. I got you.
Yeah, Jessie's going to photograph me. I'm very excited. I really want to do something with fresh flowers because that's kind of...
Ooh, that reminds me. I need to show you something later, which you will laugh about.
I'm sure I will.
Sunflowers and a gentleman.
Okay.
To your imagination.
Okay. I can't wait. I have a question. Are we to say down under includes New Zealand or only Australia?
Technically, but we don't call it down under.
Okay.
I think down under is just Australia, really.
Okay.
I mean, technically we're down under, but no one really refers, not that I know of, no Kiwis we refer to ourselves as Kiwis rather than down under.
Yeah, and I don't think Aussies consider themselves to be down under. That's certainly something that we say in America, but yeah. Okay, I guess we're only referring to Australia. And as an American who lived in Australia, you'd think I would know that, but you learn something new every day, don't you?
Yeah.
So before we get into it, I think it would be interesting to tell people how they can find you physically, because I know you're having an adventure this week, and then where people can find you on Instagram, and then we'll dive into it.
Physically, I'm in Auckland, New Zealand.
In the bush.
In a bush. I'm in a bush currently.
Yeah, you are. I mean, it's an adventure, right?
It is an adventure. I house sit quite often for friends. Currently, I'm looking after this pussycat called Storm, and she's the smoochiest thing ever. But I'm taking it as like a little reprieve for myself. I've stayed in the house for a couple of days and have just sort of given myself to have some self-love and self-care after some very hard breakups and also a loss in my family. So I've also given myself time to do that and sort of slowly work on stuff in my business. So it's been really nice.
Oh, fantastic.
And where you can find me online at Jessie Maree Co, and that's JESSIE MAREECO. And that's on Instagram, Facebook. I believe they're all the same. Even Pinterest is Jessie Maree Co. I just figured I'd make it easy for people. And my website is jessiemaree.com.
If you're curious about getting kinky or getting non-monogamy, please check her out. And also just go and check her out because you listen to X-Files and we like to spread the love. So Jess and I decided that we would do a self-love episode, partially because Jessie has had some experiences with some breakups recently. And this is going to drop the week before Valentine's Day. I do think it's an evergreen topic, but I'm very passionate about people not feeling like shit on Valentine's Day. Showing yourself the love is one way to do that.
So I agree. Really, even when I was in relationships, Valentine's Day is such a hallmark. Like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan.
That's perfectly valid. It's a lot bigger in America than it is in Australia. I mean, it was pretty big in Australia, but it's huge here. And I've been mostly single for it. And I have to say, as someone who really, really, really loves anything that's pretty and aesthetically pleasing. I do enjoy Valentine's Day for that reason, because I'm just like pink and glitter and flowers. And, I love all those things.
All of those things too. I love glitter and pink and just,
You're very Valentine's Day dressed today. Oh, I appreciate that. I should have done the same, but
I didn't even think about it. I just, and my nails match too, but I just didn't even
think. You are rocking it today. Look at you.
I know. I'm having on this retreat to this house sit, I've also said no bra because I fucking hate, I need them to function throughout the day and stuff, but because I'm not going anywhere and no one has to see anything, I was like, no bra. Done.
That's so interesting. I very, very, very rarely, if ever, go braless, even when I'm home alone, even in the morning time. And I just feel too floppy.
I could care less. No one's seeing me. If I'm not running around or anything, whatever. I'm, I guess, in a unique position where I had a breast reduction. So
I mean, you look great. And yeah, I'm not in the same position. I did ask for one for high school graduation. Alas, my parents did not oblige. Personally, I think everyone is different. I feel more comfortable when I'm not having the floppiness going on.
Fair. When they stick into your sock, I just can't. And so I was like, I'm just gonna have a couple of days without.
I like it contained. In fact, I'm wearing 2 bras today. I gotta keep the babies in place.
2 bras?
Yeah. I'll explain later.
Oh, you'll have to explain because
I like them firmly in place. Let's just say that. But I know what you mean. When I've gone on retreats before, when I was living in Bali, I did this whole not gonna wash my hair thing. I even did a no shaving thing for a time. Yes. So I understand the experimenting with the wild woman, when you're on your own. With all of that being said, we really got the important stuff out of the way there. Let's talk about self-love after a breakup. Jessie and I put together an outline of things that you can do for yourself during this time. And especially if that means that this week you're not horribly thrilled about being single. Maybe you feel a little angry because couples are shoving it in your face. I totally get that. I'm always like, okay, enjoy it for sure. But only you care. The rest of the world does not need to.
I don't give a shit about, I'm happy that you're happy, but just get it the fuck out of my face.
Yes, definitely.
And I can say that because I work for a company here and contract sometimes and take product photography. So I shoot Valentine's Day before it's Valentine's Day. And I'm like, by the time it comes around. It's the same with Christmas. I swear to God.
Christmas, I don't really care about. Valentine's Day, I'm so glad that this is memorable for you, but actually don't care. And this is someone who's actually hoping to have a spicy Valentine's Day this year. I'm not going to broadcast it to the world. I'm going to enjoy it for myself. And also, yes, as you mentioned, Jessie, you have been through some breakups recently. How are you doing with that?
So I had 3 breakups last year because, as many people know, I'm polyamorous, so things come and go, and I'm officially single. I ain't got no one in the radar, and it was a journey. The one at the beginning of the year, her and I.
Oh, right, yeah.
So the beginning of the year would have been this time.
Totally remember.
Year. Her and I are friends, but it took time, right? We circulate in the same circles, particularly in the kink community. In our relationship when we were together, I very much helped her get out of a toxic relationship. We shared a lot. She was a caregiver for me when I went through my radiation. And it just felt like that word girlfriend for us put pressure on. Whereas we connected really well every other where, but that whole pressure to have dates and have sex, and it was just got too much. It was just too much. Mm-hmm. So we split. We took some time apart. We went no contact for a while, but then we came back because obviously we were in the same community. And her and I consider her a sister, right? But that took some time, and that has history to it. The fact that we've both helped each other through some really big stuff. And she also had the end of last year or the middle of last year went and had a real bad depression drop, and I was sort of there for her. She doesn't have a lot of, because she's not from Auckland, so her community is quite small already up here, so I was sort of someone she could go to. That's the only one.
That's a lot in a year's time. Three breakups.
Yeah, 3 breakups. The second one was the guy I was engaged to.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't work out. we'd been having issues pretty much all of our relationship, like because it was both of our first like non-monogamous relationship and there was lots of things going on. And then he found out he got diagnosed with ADHD. So he's really like, he called it off because I was like, I'm willing to give this another go. But he was like, no, I need to stop hurting you and I need to work on myself. So it broke my heart, but I'm glad that he's taking the time to do what he needs to do and is on Ritalin and is seeing a therapist and is taking the time to sort of do his own thing. And so for me, that it hurt like shit because we were engaged, but it is what it is and we move on.
Yeah, I think actually we could do an entire episode on just that relationship and everything that went down last year and, the ways that you made sure that it was, the right thing for both of you in the end. And I think, you really had closure when it came to that point.
Yeah. And then the last one happened just after Christmas last year. And it felt like the carpet had been ripped out from underneath me and it sucked. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't expect it. I thought everything was fine. And then, I don't know, I guess other people were saying stuff about how they thought I wanted more from the relationship and that I was hurting. And so then that person saw that, even though that wasn't the case, and they didn't come and talk to me. They just started distancing themselves. So we'd been talking every day normal. And then the communication started dropping and they blamed it on Christmas and like New Year. And I was like, but you didn't pull this last year. And then I helped a friend move out of him and his wife's house because she'd been living there and she just got a flat. And it was the most awkward fucking thing ever. I walked into the house. Usually he'd give me a hug, none of that. It was just uncomfortable. So I texted him afterwards and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, I wanted to talk to you about it in person, but I feel like I'm hurting you and I don't want any more and blah, blah, blah than what I've given you for the last year. And I was like, but I don't want any more than what you get.
Yeah,
anyway,
and you really didn't. I have to say, these miscommunications or relationship completions can happen, no matter what the relationship looks like. And no matter if you're monogamous or non-monogamous, I'm sure that everyone can relate to something from each of the stories that you've just told.
That one probably hurt more than the other two because the other two I knew were coming.
Sudden breakup trauma is a real thing. And I think people struggle with that, especially if you've seen it coming, you already have the chance to give yourself closure.
You kind of prepared, right? You like started to mourn that and started to rationalize that and take steps and stuff. But no, this one just like happened out of nowhere. And I was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. It's also another example of how these things are really not fair because to one day feel like things are great and the next day have someone text you and say it's over. Really, there's nothing fair about that, but you're rolling with it somewhat.
Oh, yeah. I still talk to my therapist about it. I've cried heaps about it. I've been angry. I've sent messages I probably shouldn't have sent. And I don't want to be the psycho, like, oh, I fucking hate you, I can't, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I just don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. And he's not really good at talking about it. So I'm like at a loss here. And so I gave up and went no contact because I'm sick of people saying to me that they think I'm amazing and awesome and blah, 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 and then leave and want to be friends. And then I never hear from them again. And I'm like, okay, well, bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
I'm glad I'm so awesome that I deserve such great treatment.
That's what I don't understand. And there was one other one that wasn't like we were in a relationship, but then he got back with his toxic ex and he was like, I don't want you to wait. And I was like, well, I'm not fucking waiting. And he's like, well, I hope we can still be friends. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I haven't heard from him since. I put all the communication and I put it all in. So at the end of last year, because I was in this mood because of this person, I texted him and I was like, what the fuck, blah, blah. He was like, oh, you're so incredible, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, so incredible that you just like didn't even communicate with me anymore. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I have to say, I don't really want to get into it, but I had something very similar happen last year as well, where all of a sudden, it was like up here one day with like the euphoria and the next day, like, oh, I can't do this. Can we just talk? No, you're amazing. And you know what, everyone, it can happen to anyone. I promise you. One reason I was so glad that you kind of initiated things with this episode as far as what you wanted to make sure to talk about. And one of the first things is letting yourself grieve. I think that you are really good at that. You're very good at thinking about how you're feeling. You articulate it. You reach out to certain people asking for certain things. And I know that because I'm one of them. But you do it in a really good way. And in fact, we've both done this to each other where it's like, I need this. What do you have capacity for? And we could do an episode on effectively reaching out for help. But you really wanted to make sure that as far as talking about self-love goes, that we discussed allowing yourself to grieve and not holding it in. And so why was this important to you?
I love the saying. It's like taking poison and expecting the other person to die.
By holding it in?
Yeah. So if you hold in all that grief and all that sadness and all that anger and all that pain and all that everything, and you bottle it up and you bottle it up. Now, I don't just do this in relationships. I used to do this as a kid too. I would just can explode, like you bottle something and you're pushing it all down, and then all of a sudden like something happens, something small, and like it all just comes out, and it's not good for whoever the fuck is around you. I swear to God.
I did it the other night. Now it was very short, very, very short. But yeah, my partner said something. He had no idea that it was going to trigger anything in me. And before I knew it, I'd sent 2 angry texts. And, I think that he's holding his phone like, what? And it was, yes. And it's because there was this other thing that I had not fully processed, certainly hadn't spoken to him about, regarding not feeling appreciated in one of my particular roles. And something in one of his messages reminded me of it. And it was a perfect example of, what? Resentment has to be processed.
It has to. And cry. If you feel like crying, cry. It's okay. I love working with a therapist, and I will say this. I think everyone should, because people need to get over this. And I think Americans are better at this, at going and seeing a therapist. And Kiwis, fuck, we're terrible. We're like, oh, there's something wrong with me. I'm not going to go, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not going to go see a therapist.
It's become more mainstream here.
Honestly, we all go through shit, and it's so nice to talk to someone who isn't A, someone in your life, but also B, has the skills to help you through it. Like to be able to hold that space for you and to just reflect back to you what's going on. And so I've been working this year on feeling anger, because for me, anger wasn't a safe emotion. So feeling all those things, crying when I need to cry, screaming when I need to scream, doing physical things to move through that as well. So whether that's screaming or singing or dancing or whatever, but I also journaling. When it gets too much, just write it all down. Burn it afterwards if you want to.
Yes. It depends on kind of what you're hoping to accomplish. For some people, I think it helps to hold on to it. And for some people, it helps to release it. Oh, 1,000%. I know for myself, I think more sadness is something that I've had a hard time dealing with. And sometimes if I feel it just sitting inside of me, I will do things to induce the tears. And for instance, it's kind of embarrassing. No, no, I have a certain song. There's a certain song I know if I put it on and I'm kind of feeling like it's there, but not fully coming up. If this song is playing, the tears are coming, and it feels good. But
it's so cathartic.
Yeah, it allows me to work it through my body.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I have songs like that, and I don't even realize, and they get triggered, and I'm like, oh, okay, hello, tears. And that's fine though. If it's in there and it needs to be released, this is the thing, we need to work through it and get it out. Otherwise, it builds up, and then some poor unsuspecting person in your life it's the brunt of it all, and they're like, what the hell is going on?
And I assure you that it does come up. I think a lot of people listening to X-Files want to get past their breakups and then have future relationships. And if you actually want a future happy relationship, use this time to process what you've gone through and move it through you, because your next partner doesn't deserve to have it put on them. And you can put it behind you before you start connecting with someone again. I really believe that. None of us are perfect. I just said that I did it a couple nights ago. It was short and I caught myself instantly, but I even was like, oh my God, what the fuck did you just do?
What the hell?
Whoa, girl.
But that's it. And often you have to remember that the person that you get with next is not your ex-partner. Right? That's, and if you've worked through that, and sure, if it comes up, but at some point with that new partner, I'm assuming this will get talked about. So if it does trigger for any reason, you can then when you've calmed down, come to a point where you can talk about it. But it really does help if you can process it first and do most of that leg work before taking it out on your new partner.
Sometimes things don't completely leave us, and that is also okay. Trauma lives in our bodies. Some trauma stays with us for a long time, sometimes for all of our lives, but we can still get to the point where we're controlling it rather than it controlling us. So if you're listening to this and not, exactly loving life this week, give this to yourself. Give yourself the gift of grieving.
It's so healthy. It's healthy to grieve and it's healthy to do these things, but just make sure that you've got also someone to talk to. Isolating yourself and being alone and stuff for too long can actually not help with depression. You can just sometimes feel like you're falling into a pit and never want to come back out. So there's also that flip side of it. Feel the emotions, but also reach out to your network and to the people that you feel safe with and talk to them. That's what we do, you and I.
Yes, it definitely is. Have a friend, definitely have boundaries. Ask your friend what their boundaries are, but have a couple go-to people. Do not exhaust that social network or that support network. Talk to your coach, talk to your therapist, get outside, but definitely allow yourself the time to grieve, but don't stay inside while you do it. So something else we wanted to talk about, which this is, I think, the perfect time to do it, given that we're talking about how to utilize your support network, is self-soothing as a form of self-love after a breakup. This is important because it allows us to strengthen our friendships. It allows us the ability to look after ourselves while also connecting with our friends and the other people who are supporting us.
Yeah, two that I've sort of been working on with self-soothing, less because of the breakups and more because I had a death in the family very recently. And the two that I've been working on that my therapist has been talking me through is hugging yourself and patting your body and physically giving yourself a hug that you need. And the other that I find really helpful when I'm starting to get upset is tapping on my heart. And I don't know why, but tapping works. I don't know much about it behind it, but tapping, particularly in your heart, really helps. I think you can do other parts of your body for other things, but yeah, I was sitting at the funeral the other day, just tapping because just being there and because I'm an empath and I could just feel everything that was going on and the sadness. And yes, I cried, but also this kind of kept me grounded.
For those of you who are listening and not watching, which would be everyone. So she's tapping her chest bone. And do you do it slow or fast or whatever feels good?
I don't, just whatever feels right. You can tap slow, you can tap fast. I kind of do a medium sort of tap, 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 tap. I could feel it settling, and then I would do it again if it started to come up again. And I'm not saying repress those feelings. It just helped me feel settled, and it helped soothe my nervous system somehow. There is science behind it.
Well, funnily enough, I actually have on my list of things to source is a tapping expert to come on and talk about tapping and breakup. So there is science behind it. I can't sit here and explain it all now, but if you are feeling anxious and overwhelmed about your breakup this week, in the moment, yes, tapping on your chest bone. Would you say just to do it until you kind of feel a release?
Do it until it feels like the nervous system is starting to settle and feel calmer.
That's a great tip. My number one tip is to get outside. And that's just because it's what works for me. I've been through some very stressful situations in my life in the past 6 months. A couple of things that I have not and probably will not mention on the show. But I know that when I'm in the moment feeling like I can't do this, I don't know what to do. If I go outside, there's something that shifts for me.
Yeah, I do that not just for breakups, but for any time I'm feeling anxious or overwhelmed, or if I'm working and I can't focus. It's called grounding, getting your feet onto the earth and taking some deep breaths and being outside and just allowing Mother Nature to kind of soothe, because we're part of the world.
It's there for us and we for it.
Yeah, but if you can, go barefoot. I love going to the beach and having the waves wash over my feet. There's just something about the water that really just brings me some.
Mm-hmm. And even if you live in the middle of a city or in a subdivision and you don't think that nature is accessible to you, if you go outside, you are in nature and you have fresh air And it's a change of environment, which can trick your system into shifting gears. And so if you feel overwhelmed, go outside for 10 minutes or for 5 minutes, and you will notice something. You will notice that something changes. It's a great way to self-soothe. And this is a great gift to give to yourself after your breakup, because you are going to allow yourself the ability to cope with more stressful and sad situations in your future. And with that comes so much power and strength and confidence.
Yes. I just think it can be applied to just like after a breakup or any situation where things are overwhelming.
Oh, completely. In fact, the very stressful situations that I'm thinking of from like the last 6 months had nothing to do with romantic breakups. It had to do with some other shit that I wasn't expecting ever. But as it does relate to a breakup, if you are trying to go no contact, which I do recommend for at least a significant period of time if you're in pain, self-soothing helps, because we so often reach out to our ex, answer their text messages, go to their social media, look at the old photos, all these self-destructive things that we do after a breakup because we want to feel better. It gives us a little hit of something to engage with them in any way, even if it's just looking at their photo. If you can self-soothe and come up with your own way to make yourself feel better, you can disconnect more and more from them and more from the relationship and move on quicker.
I've not been single since I was 16, and I'm now 31, about to turn 32. And I've always been in relationships, right? So I've never been single. There's always been a crossover period. There's been periods of time where I've been single, but, seeing someone sort of. This has been me being single right now. And I've spoken to and this is something I'm working with my therapist through, has been the hardest thing for me to be okay with, is being by myself. I so badly want to go back to those partners for that comfort, for that soothing. When shit is happening, that's the first thing I want to do, because they're someone I shared my life with. They're someone that I had that with. They gave that to me because I couldn't give it to myself. And so I'm learning that currently. I'm learning to be okay with my own company, which is why this house sit right now has been fantastic, because it's 2 days. I've been here longer than that, but I've actually dedicated 2 days to just me. I'm not going to go see anyone. I'm fine. But it's hard.
It is hard in the beginning,
but it's worth it.
I'm so proud. And you are such a powerful person. And I feel that maybe really embracing this as a skill set could be something that is just going to catapult you to such greatness. I mean, why would you, when you've had so much loss and a little bit of chaos in your life? I mean, these are not things that uplift us necessarily, but overcoming them is. And I think that it's a really great goal to say, I'm just going to look after myself. I approve. X-Files stamp of approval. And anyone who's listened to X-Files before knows, I think learning to be your own best company is one of the absolute best things that you can do for yourself, not just to love life, but to be a better partner, to attract better people. So I think this is great for you. Before we pause for a commercial break, what are some other self-soothing techniques or tips or methods that you use?
One that I'm doing currently is binge watching Supernatural. So this isn't just a breakup one. This is what I started when I was going through radiation, because I watched Supernatural years ago and then I only got to a certain season before I was ran out of whatever. And when I started radiation and I couldn't do anything, I started binge watching it again. And I think sometimes it's nice to just do something that is mindless.
A healthy distraction. I agree. We can say what we want about screen time and this and that, but I do think that binging and Netflixing at certain times serves such an important purpose. Distracting yourself whilst you relax is so beneficial. We've been texting a couple times in the past where I've sheepishly admitted that I was watching Judge Judy. And
I love Judge Judy.
I do too. And maybe I don't need to be sheepish about it, but she is now on Amazon doing a new show. It is so bad and so good at the same time. And there's just something about turning that on. I zone out, kind of.
Yeah.
I just fully relax. I forget about my day. It's a great way to.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not binging all day, every day. I'm maybe binging 3 or 4 episodes in the evening when I've got nothing else going on. Because, like, why do I have to be productive all of the time? I don't. I can just enjoy a show.
Completely.
And plus, Dean and Sam and Castiel, hello, boys.
These are the supernatural.
Yeah, they're the main characters. If we're going to go there, Rowena too, like her Scottish accent. Damn.
Love it. That's
yeah.
great. I also love Catfish is a really good thing to zone out
God, it's
to.
so good.
I also feel a lot better about my life when I watch that. And as some people may know, I love Queer Eye on Netflix. I think that these are 5 of just such special, loving men. It always gets me in a good mood. And Grace and Frankie. These are happy shows. Some of my other tips, I really like having cold water on my face when I'm feeling overwhelmed. I love to put on happy playlists when I'm feeling overwhelmed. Now, I don't just put it on. I put it on and I walk around. So we're changing up our environment.
Yeah, dance to it. Have fun. Like get up, out, physically move. And that I love that. When I'm feeling sad or angry or like I can't shift it, I have to get up and move. Put on music, have a dance, go for a walk.
I do my dishes.
Yeah, physically change.
Exactly. Changing it up, setting a timer for 5 minutes, doing some dishes, focusing on the music while you do it. You can shift gears and you can take care of yourself.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to pause for a quick commercial break and then we'll come back and talk about sex and self-love after a breakup. Nothing shatters your life like a breakup. And the pain of a broken heart is real. I know that it seems impossible right now, but there is hope and there are ways to heal. I would love to work with you one-on-one to heal your broken heart and put your breakup behind you. My personalized coaching programs are designed to pinpoint what will be most effective in helping you to move forward and make this breakup a part of your past. I believe in you. Message me at xfilespodcast@gmail.com or on Instagram at xfilespodcast, and let's connect about creating a magical plan of action for you to enter 2023 with this breakup in your rearview mirror. All right, welcome back. We are talking about self-love after a breakup, and we have matching headphones, which I love. We're going to be so cute when we record in person.
I know. You inspired me to get these.
I'm so glad. I love mine. I suppose perhaps technically I could, use some that are more discreet, but I always feel like such a podcaster when I'm wearing my rose gold headphones.
I like them over my ears because they have so many piercings. It's nice for them to be over, but also I don't like them in my ear because of the radiation. I like it being in my ear. I don't know, it just irritates me. So I love the over the ear ones.
Well, me too. And I love that we have matching. Winning. Hashtag winning with our headphones.
Winning.
So let's talk about sex and self-love after a breakup. And we have 2 categories here. First is sex with other people, and the second is sex with ourselves.
Woohoo!
There's so many things that we could say about when a person could or should have sex after a breakup. Why don't you just tell us about your experience and what you might suggest to someone who thinks, I think this would make me feel better.
I have this saying that is, to get over somebody, you get under somebody else.
Yes.
I say that kind of jokingly, but also it really helps. It helps you forget about the other person. Like if you're having sex with someone, it really does help you, I guess, sort of reaffirms that you're still attractive and people still desire you and you're still desirable. And that's nice after a breakup.
How can you do it without it being a Band-Aid or without it feeling worse after? Like, how can you go into it with your eyes open? Look, I think for some people it really works. And for some people it really hurts. And it just depends on so many things. The first time that I had sex after I separated from my husband was so magical and so important for me. And it really helped to launch me into the next phase of the breakup. And I'm really, really glad I did it as early as I did. I think I hear from some people that they feel worse after, but perhaps that's because they're not prepared for, what's about to come. So what are your tips for doing it either consciously or intentionally?
Yeah, it's always intentionally for me. Like I know what I'm doing. And like I said, I've never been single, right? I've always had crossover periods. I think it helps me move on faster. It just helps me in my self-confidence. And I get that stuff I need to work on again with it being alone and self-pleasure, which we'll come to. It's important to know that the person you're going to have sex with, you guys are on the same page in terms of communicating what your needs are,
Perfect.
communicating if this is just like a once off or like, and letting them know that you've just broken up with someone and you're still a little bit raw and vulnerable if you need to, right? Like people aren't going to be assholes. People have gone through breakups themselves.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I mean, people can be, and people might. I mean, this is entirely,
Totally.
It's possible,
Yeah.
but yes, I think being honest with yourself first and foremost,
Yes.
and being honest with the other person.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you feel about this, but perhaps not being so attached to like an outcome other than this is helping you create some distance from your ex.
Yeah.
That's the only outcome you need.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, 100%. I was chatting with a couple of people after breakup and one of them came around. We've been flirting and stuff and it was fun and he wasn't looking for a relationship and I'm not looking for a relationship. So he came up, we had some fun, he went home and we both got what we wanted, but we were both intentional. And I knew this wasn't going to lead to anything else. This wasn't going to be what do they call it?
A rebound?
That's the word. Thanks, friend.
And that's what I'm talking about as far as detaching from an outcome is I think that there's rebound sex and there's rebound relationships. And let's not get the two confused with each other because you can have sex without it turning into a relationship. And I actually think rebound sex can serve such an important purpose. I think sometimes right after a breakup, we feel so connected to the other person on so many levels that it helps to feel a physical connection with someone else because like I said, it helps to create that distance that we need to move on.
You're creating that physical distance between you and this other person and your last memory of sex with someone else isn't with them.
Exactly.
You know what? Like you've got another experience to replace that last memory that you had. Yeah, it helps to create the distance and doesn't feel as bad. So like if you run into this person in the street, this ex-partner or whatever, you're not going to be like, oh, I want you because there's that lust and that there's not that you need to take back. And it's sort of taking your own power back.
I completely agree. And for anyone who's listening, sometimes it doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it doesn't happen immediately. It doesn't mean you're not still going to miss this person. It does certainly not mean the sex is going to be as good as it was with someone who you were in relationship with. So again, we're talking about expectations here. All you're wanting to do is something for yourself and something to, put more distance between you.
Yeah. And of course, you're going to want to go back to the person that you've been in a relationship, right? Because they learnt your body. They know what you like if you're in a good relationship anyway. You know what I mean? Like they know how to turn you on. They know. And sometimes it seems easier. And so I've come up against that with my ex-partners. I'm like, oh, it would really be good just to like have sex with them because at least I know that I'll get off. But then I'm like, is it worth the hurt? No.
It's absolutely not. And if anyone is listening to this over Valentine's Day, please, 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 please do not have sex with the ex because you feel lonely over Valentine's Day.
No.
Please.
Have sex with yourself.
Yes. Okay, great. So we're not having sex with the ex and we're going to have sex with someone who we know can get us off. And that is ourselves. Yep. So let's talk about this. This is one of my favorite topics. And this is something that can be really fun after a breakup. And that is learning more about self-pleasure. Yes. For anyone who feels immediately curious or turned on about this, I want to reference 2 X-Files episodes. First, 118, and that's Sex After a Breakup with Dr. Christie. And 122, Have Better Sex, no matter what your relationship status. Both of those are about either casual sex after a breakup, sex for the first time after a breakup, with someone else, and or self-pleasure. So go check those out. Do you want to start, or shall I, as far as self-pleasure after a breakup?
You go. I got something to say.
Was that pleasurable, or I love that it started out with a little groan action there.
Oh,
So this is something that I have years of experience with. This is something that I know can be very, very revolutionary for men and women, for single people especially. If this is something that you're curious about, I suppose I'd say toys. It's Valentine's Day. Why not try something new?
Get yourself a present. Who needs someone else to get you flowers? Buy yourself a flower that vibrates.
Yes. If you don't have anything, or if you have something, but you don't really use it a lot, try something new. There are such great options out there. Even in relationships, I still, use my toys so often that I have to charge them weekly.
I love a partner who is not intimidated by toys. Let's use the toys. It's fun.
I mean, sex and orgasm is always accessible to you if you can learn about your own body.
Yeah. And there's there's more than two things I want to say there. Sex and orgasm don't have to be together. You can still have a fucking fantastic time and not orgasm. You can still explore your body. Like, I don't want people to think that orgasm is the outcome of like self-pleasure or sex. Like, you can have a great time and not come.
Yeah, completely. I think I've gotten so used to my body and so attuned to what I need that I do often climax when I self-pleasure. And so, yeah, I guess I'm kind of defaulting to saying that just because, for me, I do want that and I do expect it. But I do agree, especially with partnered sex. I don't think that orgasm is the goal.
No, orgasm should never be the goal. It should be having fun and connecting with the other person, with yourself as well. Like, particularly if like your relationship ended up being sexless, or the sex wasn't as good towards the end and like orgasm never really happened, it can put a lot of pressure onto yourself, and then you don't want to self-pleasure because then you're expecting, like, you're like, oh, well, what's the point? Like, and you get upset and you work yourself up and stuff like that. So take the time to just explore, I think, with yourself and reconnect with your body and find what's pleasurable. And it doesn't mean going for the clit straight away and or like the penis straight away and like being like bang one out. It means like stroke your body.
Yes. I mean, toys, if that seems like too much for you, there can be a lot of self-pleasure by, it's kind of cliched, but taking a bath or using different attachments in the shower. Yes. And that is very, very pleasurable. And getting certain gels where you feel more sensation when you, rub certain parts of your body, and maybe even intentionally not even thinking about orgasm and just thinking about everything else.
Yeah. And I think that's very important, because I think with yourself, and I'm coming back to this, right? Because in the longest of times, I've had this thought that, yes, sex ends in orgasm. And if I can't do that, then I'm not good at sex. And it's been a fun journey. But like, even this year for me is a year about pleasure. I'm very much going to find pleasure and if it doesn't give me pleasure, and it doesn't mean an orgasm or a sexual way, but like, if it doesn't give me pleasure, I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. So I'm going to intentionally enjoy my showers and enjoy feeling the water on me. And I'm going to enjoy the wind in my head. Like, just start to find pleasure in everything. Like, turn on your body so that you can start to experience it. So then when you are spending time with yourself and you are pleasuring yourself, you're just already sort of embodied and like connected to yourself. So like stroking your arm or stroking up your leg or around the clitoris or up the shaft, because I know we've got both here.
We do have men and women and everyone else here.
Take that time and use lube.
Yeah, learning about lube while you're single can be so much fun.
If you're not turned on straight away and you want to just sort of start exploring, lube can help because it lubricates the area. So there's less friction. So that can help warm you up, help you explore. Lube is just for both, partnered, unpartnered, like use lube.
Agreed. And that was going to be another one of my tips was, if you're single and wanting to explore these things, take yourself to a sex shop. We have such great sex shops in Denver. I have actually started to kind of build a relationship with a couple of them. I'm so impressed with what they're doing. And one of the really cool things is some of the really good ones will have a wall or an entire thing of different types of lube. And you can go and pick things out and experiment. Cooling lube, warming lube, tingling lube, different flavors. These are all such fun things to explore and can add so much more to your self-love journey.
Yeah.
Self-pleasure journey.
Yeah. You may as well have fun, right?
Oh, 1,000%.
One of my friends has bees and she's just made this concoction that me and a few of her other regulars that go to Circle with her has made. And it's got like honey and peppermint and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm very excited. She said, keep it in the fridge. So it's in the fridge because you know what Jessie's going to do with some of this time off to herself? She's going to use the fucking whatever it is she said, like, it's not a lube, but like, use it around the area. And I'm very excited because obviously that peppermint it's got black pepper in it as well for something. So like,
oh my God.
So it's like the warmth and the tingle and the experiment with that stuff.
There is so much out there to explore and so much that you can give for yourself and to yourself. And then when and if you have a partner again, you'll be able to have, a more embodied experience because you can show them so many more things and you know what you want.
And you know what your body wants.
Yes. We are all responsible for our own pleasure. And the only way that you can bring that concept into a relationship is to know what that means for you. So do not let this time go to waste. Get online, get going. All right. Another way to explore self-love after a breakup, sinking into our hobbies and interests.
Yes.
Sometimes when we're in a relationship, not always, we can lose sight of what makes us us. Sometimes we spend a lot of time with our partners. Sometimes we make plans according to both of our lives or all of our lives if we're non-monogamous, it's fine. And it's a beautiful thing, but we sometimes forget or we lose touch with the things that we are inherently passionate about. And this can be a great time to re-embrace these things and really get excited about life again.
I agree. When my fiance and I moved out before we broke up, I moved out because we were going to we'd lived together since the beginning of those lockdowns, like 2019, and never really got to have that, I guess, living apart dating period. So I moved out and it was fantastic for me to have this time to start doing the things again because I wasn't always there and I wasn't always defaulting to watching TV with him or defaulting to doing, just hanging out with him all the time. I had that time I then had for myself. And I'm in this Facebook group called Find Your Tribe, and it's finding other people, make friends and stuff. And I've been hosting once a month, Crafternoon, and it's been so much fun. So there's a group of us that come around and we just sit around and have tea or water or whatever and work on our crafts that we're working on and chat. And it's been so much fun to have that intentional time where I work on art and craft because I'm terrible at creating things that don't have a purpose for art's sake.
Okay. I mean, that sounds like a purpose to me, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. Art for art's sake or just being creative for me doesn't seem productive. And that's my own conditioning and my own things to work through. So sitting down and I went to Kmart and bought a whole bunch of $5 different crafty things. And I was I'm going to work through these. And so I did some gem art the other day. If you know what that is, you stick the gems on the thing and you make
rhinestones.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, pretty. I want to see it.
I'll show you it. So I did one of those and that was really nice to kind of, again, self-soothe. As I was watching Supernatural, I'd be doing that too. Or even just doing that intentionally and listening to music or a podcast or whatever. I've started an embroidery. So I'm still doing an embroidery, which says be kind, which is kind of ironic.
So cool.
I know.
Oh my God, I love that.
It's very cute. I've got a cross-stitch one. I bought some watercolor pens and stuff. I just going to try different forms of art because why not?
I like doing crafts as well. And it's something, I grew up Mormon and we're very crafty people, especially, very much bring girls up to be into crafts. And while I was in Australia, I got so caught up in the stress of my relationships, my visa, my work situation, this, that, the other. I know when I lost all of this and kind of had the breakup with the visa, I had breakup with my boyfriend, breakup with a couple of friends too. I kind of sat there, and without all of the socializing and all of the activity that I'd been involved with, I thought to myself, like, what am I about? Who am I? What am I here for? And I remember I started going on these long walks and just somehow starting to remember my hobbies, the things that had fired me up before I went to Australia, the things that I was excited about before all of my horrible relationships. And that was history. That was some crafting, decorating, anything having to do with flowers, coaching, that type of thing. And one by one, I went through and started reinvesting my time into them. Also, and one of them being crafts. I really like to do decoupage. I'm actually looking around to see if I have any near me, but that involves cutting out pictures from magazines and other places and then putting them together in lovely collages.
I know what you're talking about. I have a friend that's done one of those. Yeah.
And it is very therapeutic. It's great for distracting the mind. It's great for keeping your hands busy. And I still have the binder of all of the decoupage that I did all the way back when I was in Australia, when I was like kind of rediscovering myself. Yes, it was great. And I became passionate. I like rediscovered myself. I started over as far as, I guess, my identity and what I liked about myself, which was something that I had completely tossed away in all of these external things that I was trying to accomplish. I lost sight of what made me me. And as soon as I moved back to Denver, I started volunteering at a history museum. And that just like catapulted me to coming back to myself.
Particularly when life is so crazy, everything, like you said, toxic ex-boyfriends, the visa not working out, toxic friend. Like, I understand this because this has been my life the last like couple of years, health issues. And it's been so nice to come back to do stuff. For me, I've had photography for forever, and it's always been photography, but photography is my living as well now. So I've lost that passion. Like, I look back at some of these shoots that I've done and I was like, I miss creating for the sake of creating, like with photography. And so like the end of last year when I did Circle, I came to the realization that I haven't shot for myself in a long time. I've shot for other people. And yes, it's fun, like doing the shoot for the Playboy magazine for my friend who's in it. That was a lot of fun, but I haven't created for me. So I really starting this new project, and it's all around celebrating the female body, because, and it stemmed of me going through so much with the radiation, my body changing and dealing with like diet culture and all that sort of fun and body image. But my body has been through a lot, and it helped me through all of a lot. So now I'm going to create this project where I photograph women's bodies naked.
I will let you photograph me naked if it helps.
I want to have an exhibition, and I want to have like a coffee book, and I just want it to be like a mixture of images and stories about these women appreciating their bodies. And
oh, I am here for it. Love, love, love. And I do think it's good to do something that doesn't have to do with how we make a living and is just for ourselves. We all have things that are so unique just about us. I've never met another person who likes to decoupage. I don't have a single friend who would go with me to Tombstone, Arizona to stay at a dude ranch for Christmas.
I would. If I lived in America, I'd be there.
All right. Okay. Well, we're going to do it. My point is that, these are things that are unique about ourselves, and that if we can rediscover this after a breakup, it's going to make us more confident. We will always have something to do when we're our own best company.
Yeah. You'll have yourself, and you'll have things to do that you love and enjoy. So it doesn't even matter if you're single or in a relationship.
I always have plans. Every single weekend. And sometimes, even the people close to me will, want to do something. And I often just have plans for myself, and I'll say I have plans.
But that's so important to have your own time.
If you are listening to this kind of drawing a blank, I totally get it. I went through this little phase after all of this chaos ended where I didn't really know what my identity was, what my values were, what I was about. Please check out episode 128, Rediscovering Yourself After a Breakup. My friend Sarah Mack and I go through her 3-phase process for rediscovering yourself after a breakup.
Ooh.
That includes auditing, detox, and vision. I'm not going to go into it now, but please scroll up and find that episode. It was a very popular episode from last year that is very, very practical, that can get you super excited about either rediscovering or reinventing yourself right now. It was so good. It's definitely top of my list from last year. One way to developing self-love after a breakup: embrace all of the wonderful things about you. Your hobbies, yes. Your interests, yes. Your passions, yes. But there's so much more that you can do and work on just to kind of come back to the fact that you are a wonderful person, a wonderful partner with so much to offer. When we have someone break up with us, that can be really, really hard to believe. Or when we've broken up with someone and just, had a relationship that we invested a lot in, only to find out that it wasn't right for us, we can sit there and just be like, why did I do that? Why am I self-destructing? Why am I doing things that are harmful for me? And lose sight of the fact that you're a remarkable human with a lot to offer. Let's talk about the ways that we do this.
Yeah, it's nice to reflect on all the things that are wonderful about you, even if you sometimes don't believe them because people tell you these things and then run away.
Well, maybe making note of that could be useful.
Yeah, right.
I mean, all through the week, you know what? Some of us interact with more people than others, but paying attention when someone reflects positively to you is a really good practice to get into. And a lot of times we want, write it down, say thank you.
Say thank you. Oh my gosh. The best thing you can do is start taking compliments.
I'm still uncomfortable with that. I just feel like I don't always know how to react. I'm an extrovert who is also a podcaster and is very conscious of not taking too much attention. And so sometimes when someone affirms me, I feel like this desire to really shift away from myself. Instead of just sitting with how lovely it is to have someone say something and recognize something good in you. Yeah. But once you can give space to that, it grows.
And I think even if you don't believe that or are uncomfortable with the fact, just say thank you. Don't say no, or like argue with them, because they obviously feel that about you, right? They obviously think that's true. Otherwise, they wouldn't say it. So just say thank you. It's okay. And it gets easier with time. Like I know people who are not, I was like that. I never liked compliments. I never ever, people would say nice things about me and I would, get all weird and be like, oh, no,
I'm like, what am I supposed to do with my mouth right now?
What do I say with that? Like, you just say thank you. Or if they're a really good friend of yours, you just get real cocky and you're like, I know.
Magnify it.
Right? But fake it till you make it, right? Like, and because then you start to believe these things about yourself, and they are wonderful things because of that it's a reflection, right? And they are wonderful things about you. If your friend is saying you're so like thoughtful and kind and caring, they obviously mean it because they wouldn't say it otherwise. So take that on and then write yourself a damn love letter.
Yes.
What do you love about yourself? Not just physically, but like, what
are you thankful for yourself for doing? I think when I think about what a love letter consists of, it would be what you see in the other person, and then perhaps what you'd like to do for the other person because of how in love with them you are. So why not write that to yourself?
Yeah. Exactly. When people talk badly to themselves, I'm like, would you say that to your friends? Would you say that you're ugly and that you're a fat piece of shit or whatever you say? Would you say that to your friends? Because if the answer is no, then don't fucking say it to yourself, because your body is listening to you and your brain is listening to you, and everything you say is going to come back. So start treating yourself like your best friend.
Agreed. I also think that the way we talk to ourselves, it's a snowball effect. We start to believe the things that are in our head. And if you believe that you are these things, you're going to act in that way and only attract negative, icky, dark things that affirm all of these messages that you're feeding yourself. Because, we want to have reality. And we want to do things that confirm what we believe is reality.
Yeah, and people often think that when that stuff happens, then they'll believe that about themselves, when we actually have to flip that the other way around. Like, start believing that about yourself and it will happen. Be grateful for what you've got. And this can be applied to anything, like not just breakups, right? Like if you think you're in debt all the time, you're going to continue to be in debt. Simple.
I was actually talking to my coach about this. I struggle with money management. Having money, that's good. What to do with it once I have it, just a skill I've never quite learned. But I'm always telling myself this constantly. I don't do it because I'm not good at it. I don't do it because I've never learned it. I don't do it because it's not my skill set. And, I tell myself these things and then I don't do it. And then I feel calm because I'm affirming what I believe my reality to be.
It's a self-made prophecy, right? Like you're just living in a self-made prophecy.
Yeah.
Whether it be money or self-worth or whatever, like.
Or there's no good people on dating apps.
Oh, I say that all the time.
And then I go out and I make poor decisions about who I meet on dating apps and, don't have boundaries. And then everything turns to shit. And then I feel, not me, but some people I know feel safe because they know what the truth is, because they've just made the truth happen.
Yeah, they've just made it the truth, because your words create your world. And that is completely. If you're going to go out and be like, all men are shit, then all men are going to be shit. If you go out and say all women are bitches, all women are going to be bitches. I'm sorry. Like
bitches.
Biatches.
Oh, women are bitches.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, just from like a female perspective, if you are going out with that attitude, we ain't gonna be doing nothing else.
Exactly. I'm a be a bitch. If you're going to go out with the whole like, women are bitches, well, I'm just going to prove you right.
I'm a be a bitch.
I'm going to just prove you right.
Oh my God. I could tell you something right now. Okay. We've had lots of like husband killings. I don't know if you know in America. And all these,
I'll tell you, like for us up in Orewa, actually.
It's crazy. And some men are going on Facebook and being like, it's not all men. It's, I feel attacked. And,
go elsewhere.
Lead with that. That's what we want to hear right now as women in this country.
Yeah, right. Like it's not all men. Well, could you stop the ones that are doing it? Because like, come on now.
And also say something about what you're going to do, to teach other men. Okay.
Yeah.
So getting back to
this.
This is a process for sure. And I just want to say, if you're someone who struggles with negative self-talk and believing that you can attract and manifest better things, just start with feeling better. I'm looking to the side right now because I've done lots of content and mentioned the emotional scale a lot in the podcast. And that is actually designed by Abraham Hicks. And it is 20 different emotions, all the way from fear up to joy, with, each representing a different color. And, the only goal is to go from one up to just the next one. And the more that you learn how to do that, the better you feel, and therefore can attract better things. So that's just a resource.
No, totally. I love that. And I think if you're in that space, gratitude journaling is so important. When I started like business and stuff, back when I was like 21, 23, maybe, I had the worst gratification. Like I just never was great. Like I would just be moving on to the next project. If I did something, I'd move on to the next thing. And I would never stop and like appreciate what I had done and where I had come from. I would never celebrate the small things. I would be like, no, I haven't done it yet, or I'm not good enough. Gratitude journaling was probably the thing that changed my mind. My coach at the time, my business coach at the time, was like, just write three things down.
Yay, I'm so happy right now because I believe in this so strongly.
Yeah. So if you don't believe that you're a wonderful human being or there's nothing good about you, start small. What is one thing?
My go-to is, especially during breakups, when you feel like everything is shit, 3 things that are working. So that could be just as simple as, it works for me that I have coffee that I like. It works for me that I have income. It works for me that I got good sleep last night. Anything that is positive.
The smallest of things.
Exactly.
I'm grateful that I have a job. I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head. Start small. And slowly over time, it'll change.
Yeah, I think that same with our desires and same with our self-talk. When we just get into the habit of thinking about what we're grateful for, it becomes easier. And then when it becomes easier, we see it more and more and more. And yeah, when you're depressed and in the middle of a breakup, it might be really, really hard to come up with 3 things. But if you make yourself do it each day for a week, then it becomes a bit of a game. And if you're, kind of quote unquote forcing yourself to do it, then you'll begin to notice things that you might not have, a week before.
My favorite thing is fake it till you make it.
I think that that's great after a breakup.
Yeah, like feel the feelings, but also fake it till you make it, right? Like feel sad, mourn the relationship, grieve the relationship, feel the I have depression, so I get like going down a hole, but then also fake it till you make it. Put on a brave smile and get out there when you don't feel like it.
Well, this is why I think that a morning routine can be so effective after a breakup, because when you're waking up and doing a few positive things in the morning, even when you don't really want to, that's faking it until you make it. It's getting up at a certain time. It's doing something nice for yourself. It's taking a shower, maybe doing something so that you feel a little bit more presentable. And then starting your day. This is triggering the universe. This is triggering your body. This is triggering your environment that things are okay. Even if you wake up feeling like, I don't want to do this. It's faking it until you make it. And eventually you get more and more used to it and you start to look forward to some of these things.
Yeah, totally. And if you have fallen into a depression where you can't get out of it, go and see a doctor.
Yeah, I don't think that any of this is a cure for depression. I think that some of these things can help in the immediate aftermath after a breakup. It can help if you can't quite shake it. But if at any point you think that you could benefit from talking to someone, talk to someone.
Yeah. No, 100%. These are great things. And if you're at a point where you can't even like the thought of that, then you definitely need to go and talk to someone.
And maybe, mix it with some of this. But if there's, tiny question in your mind, just do it. So I just have a few more journaling exercises to suggest before we wrap it up for this great episode. And that is, first of all, why I make a great partner. I think people can lose sight of this when they're in the midst of a breakup. I think it makes people do things that they might not do otherwise if they're not able to see what they bring to the table. And you have so much to bring to the table. And don't let anyone take that from you. If someone broke up with you, you might be thinking that you don't have the self-worth that you do. And so I want you to focus on this list. Why I make a great partner. Second, things I love about myself. This also might seem hard. It might also seem really simple. But if you can start with a list of 10 things and then add another 10 and another 10, you will find that there's so many special things about you that the world loves. Self-gratitude exercise. So I just want to pause here for a second because this is a little more involved. And this is maybe at the end of the day or at the beginning of the next day, reflect on like the last 24 hours perhaps and say, I am grateful for myself for blank because it helped me feel blank. So for instance, I will do this right now. I am grateful for myself for having an early night last night because it made me feel energized this morning. I am grateful that I came home last night rather than spending the night with my partner because it made me feel like I had good boundaries. I am grateful for myself for making sure I had coffee in the house because it made me feel energized and warm this morning.
Oh, I love it.
A collage. And that could be just creating some piece of art that just celebrates things about you. Your favorite color, your favorite hobbies, something you did last year, something that's, unique about your style, something that you're curious about, your favorite flower, anything. And, it could be some decoupage. Hit me up if you want to know more about that.
I want to know more. You start your own podcast on just that.
Decoupage.
With
I'm sure I'd have 5 listeners each week. So the collage is all about me. So our point being, even if you feel down in the dumps right now, you are a special, remarkable person with so much to offer. And this is a great time to lean into that. This is a great time to force yourself to see what these things are. And, I think having all of these things front and center at this brand new chapter of your life is positive. And it can make you realize, or it can help you realize, that this breakup is a blessing and it really is a great opportunity for so many things.
And you deserve better. Fuck them all.
Another resource that I wanted to mention is, I haven't mentioned this in a while, but I have curated a number of X-Files playlists on Spotify. And if you go to Spotify right now and look up X-Files podcast, self-love, that's my favorite of the X-Files playlist. And it's super, super great. If you want to be a collaborator, hit me up. I will add you. It's fantastic. I promise that it'll get you in a great mood. So any closing remarks, Jessie?
I think, just take the time, look after yourself. It's going to be okay. Like, it may not feel like that right now, but there is always a light at the end of the tunnel, as cliche as that sounds. But feel the feels, be okay with that. Just come back to yourself. And I say this knowing full well that that's where I'm at right now.
Oh, yeah, I kind of lost sight of that. And I think that would be the word of the X-Files episode, would be losing sight. And, Jessie is right in the middle of this, and she's walking the walk and talking the talk, and she's going to come out on top. And so can you. I think that rediscovering our self-love can help us recover from our breakups sooner and better, and also make us better partners in the future.
I think, because I'm very firmly like, we are whole, complete, and perfect just as we are. We don't need this whole better half or the other half. I hate that, because you are whole, complete, and perfect just as you are. And if you're going to have anyone else in your life, you want them to add to that, not to fill a gap, not for any of that shit. Like, let you be whole and then add that person in to add to that happiness and to that wholeness.
Well, I think with that, we will call it a day, and I'll see everyone next week.
Thank you for listening to X-Files Podcast. I sincerely hope that you found today's episode inspirational or useful. I would love to support you on your healing journey. All you have to do is send me a message through the X-Files Instagram account, and I will personally be in touch to get you started. Remember, if you are struggling with a broken heart, your feelings are temporary. I am sending you so much love and luck for the week ahead. You've got this.